A natural wonderland and a broadcasting legend. David Attenborough is filming a new chapter in his lifelong fascination with the Galapagos.
Absolutely amazing, unpredictable. You couldn't really make it up.
But he and his crew have taken on a massive challenge: to be the first to shoot a TV series here in 3D. They must adapt a bulky technology to access remote regions and follow fast-moving wildlife.
I can only get to within about 8 feet of the animal.
Can they battle the unexpected?
The helicopter has a mechanical fault.
They're running out of water and they're running out of food.
And achieve Attenborough's dream of Galapagos 3D. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador, lie the Galapagos Islands, an isolated cluster of 16 volcanic outcrops. Just 9 flights a day touch down at the main airport. Today, observant local guides have spotted a rare and very special visitor. In his 60th year in television, David Attenborough is returning for a 4th visit. He's been drawn back by his fascination for the remarkable inhabitants of these islands. Iguanas that can swim, penguins far from Antarctic ice, cormorants with wings so small they can no longer fly, and giant tortoises.
Galapagos is one of the wonder places in the world. There are extraordinary creatures that live nowhere else. Extremely beautiful. Anyone interested in the history of life on Earth and how it came to be has to really come here.
Very nice to be here. I must say the last time I was here, when I left, I thought, well, that's the last I should be seeing of the Galapagos. And here I am again.
But this time he has a new dream: to film life here in 3D.
It's only now that the latest developments in camera technology have given us the possibility of filming the full range of wildlife in 3D. The first place I wanted to put that to the test was the Galapagos. 3D properly used, it seems to me, can give the viewer more of a feeling of being there, more of a feeling of the reality. We'll see if we succeed.
Over the last 3 years, he and his team have pioneered the use of 3D in a series of nature documentaries. But Galapagos will test them like never before.
It's without doubt one of the most complicated 3D documentaries ever undertaken. Galapagos is the most incredible place, full of wildlife and huge potential. But what we've got to work with is a lot of different islands, volcanic landscape, a range of different animals, all of which are very complex for 3D.
The production team have had to bring in 7 tons of specialist camera equipment and a dedicated supply boat with its own onboard helicopter to shift it around. To capture the diversity of life and landscapes will take 6 months and a crew of over 40 specialists. An aerial team will film from the skies. An underwater camera unit will head beneath the waves. And a time-lapse photography expert will bring the local plants to life. "97% of the Galapagos is a national park with highly restricted access. So its 30,000 human inhabitants cluster in a few small towns. The team's main base is in the largest of these, Puerto Ayora, on the island of Santa Cruz. It's a magnet for tourists who come to see wildlife that isn't afraid to mix with the locals. And the world's rarest creature, a giant tortoise, the last survivor of his species, nicknamed Lonesome George. The separate film units are splitting up and heading off. The specialist wildlife crew are loading up for an overnight voyage to film in a remote region of another island. To get the best 3D images, they need to get their cameras within a few feet of their subjects. With few natural predators, the animals in town seem friendly enough. But will the same be true for creatures that have never set eyes on a human being before?
Everything I've been told about the animals in the Galapagos is that they're tame and that they don't run away from you. If that doesn't prove to be the case, if the animals are frightened by our burly crew and our huge 3D camera, then everything could come apart at the seams before we've even started. So we're just desperately hoping that that won't happen.
For David's first day of filming, the main unit have chosen an animal that shouldn't run away too fast, even if it wants to: the giant tortoise. Tortoises roam freely across the island, and there's been a sighting on a farm in the Highlands. But so far today, there's no sign. David leaves the hunt to work on his lines. He wants to explain how tortoises first crossed the oceans to arrive in the Galapagos.
It's the giants. We've got to get it, haven't we? Well, no, I can say some big ones. There we are. So giant tortoises arrived in the Galapagos. Were established in the Galapagos.
That's nice. That's nice.
To make the scene work, David needs to talk and walk beside a marching tortoise. Joining the hunt for a mobile co-star is local expert Dr. Stephen Blake. At last, he finds one wallowing in a muddy pool. But this one doesn't look like it'll be on the move anytime soon.
But this tortoise could not eat and not drink and sit exactly there for 6 months, and he'd be perfectly fine, you know. So how does an animal like that, what's their concept of time?
Time is something this crew can't afford to waste. They get set up so they're ready to roll as soon as a tortoise arrives. David is a soundman's delight. He comes with a shirt custom built to hold a hidden mic.
Look at that.
It's a beauty.
Oh, look, what?
It fits in there snugly. Stop sound recorders having to fiddle around all the time.
Oh, that was done domestically about 25 years ago. Especially designed high tolerance cotton.
The light blue shirt has been a staple of the Attenborough wardrobe for decades. But today it's facing evolutionary pressure from a new species on the block.
The thing about 3D is you can't put filters in, so the tops of your shoulders with the classic blue tend to sing, and Paul can't do anything about it. So we have to.
I've never heard such Codswallop, Martin. I mean, what? You believe that sort of stuff? Is that what Paul says?
The boys are trying to.
Today is the crunch. Deep down, I'm sort of quite reluctant, really, to change or to make a change. And I think we're all a little worried that if we change the shirt, people might think, gosh, what's happened here? Is this the new Attenborough? Or is there some kind of shirt deal going on to change it? I think David, luckily, is ambivalent about it.
How does it feel initially?
Awful. So rough on the skin.
The crew have finished rigging the camera. It's their first chance to see how the shirts shape up in an all-important screen test.
I think it's good.
What?
I prefer it, don't you?
What?
It's lovely.
Are you sure, Martin?
Yeah.
After 60 years, you want to change
I think so.
Attenborough's look?
I think so.
Okay, I think we should go with dark blue.
Well, sunglasses as well.
Oh God, we've got a whole new look going on here.
The shirt dilemma is behind them, and right on cue, Stephen has found a walking tortoise to complete the scene. It's certainly not the first time David's met a giant tortoise, but on this trip, he's due to encounter a previously unknown species that few have seen and no one has ever filmed. The crew are poised to film their first shot with David Attenborough, walking beside a giant tortoise. After a long wait, they finally found one that's on the march.
She's off.
Okay. Standing over.
It could be the last chance of the day to get the shot. Now it's down to David to deliver the goods.
Action.
Tortoises can't swim, but they can float. And about 3 million years ago, one of them, a large species from the South American forest, was carried away perhaps by a flash flood and swept out to sea.
The shoot is finally underway, and it's already breaking new ground.
If I'd done this when I was first here 30 years ago, we wouldn't have had any doubt at all that the first tortoises onto the Galapagos were small ones, and that because of storing of water and so on, they grew bigger. We now know through genetic studies and fossils and so on, that isn't so. That 3 or 4 million years ago, there were giant tortoises on the mainlands, on the continents, and the creature that floated out to the Galapagos was probably already a giant, which means you've got to revise your opinions. It's quite interesting.
Okay. Just let him move across here.
It's about the size of my mobile phone. I can't hear a thing.
After a location move and a rain delay, the team soon mop up the rest of the day's filming.
There's something like 80.
Thanks, everybody. I'm really happy. It's been a great first day. David and the tortoise seem to perform together, and we just about squeezed in the last couple of pieces before the rain got too intense. So I'm pretty happy.
Across the archipelago, the different units are starting to get their first shots.
Right, together these winds become the lifeblood of the Galapagos.
Yeah.
Is a good line.
Yeah, I think so.
How did I think of it?
Genius.
Yeah, must be.
Still to film a frame are the specialist wildlife crew. They're on the final stretch of a 75-mile journey to a remote region of Isabella Island. The only way to get kit and crew in is by helicopter. But there's still no guarantee that all the effort will bring them 3D shots of the animals that live here.
One of the deep worries here is whether we can get our technology close to the animals. Obviously, if we can't, we're going to have a bit of a problem, because we're going to have to sort of rethink. Can we get smaller bits of kit? Can we move in? Can we stay longer on the islands? That's something we don't know. So it's a big unknown and a big worry for us all.
Their first target is a colony of yellow land iguanas.
Yeah, there's one of them still there. This animal seems to be our best bet, because he's the ones further along the rim seem to be very skittish and have been running away almost instantly, but this guy is still standing. So I'm going to try and quietly get the camera rig down here.
Simon tests the water. Edging in with the photographic beanbag, he plans to rest the camera on. The team's worst fears might just be coming true.
So I think we're going to leave him alone, because he's doesn't want to play ball, and see if we can find another animal that's perhaps a bit more relaxed with our presence.
But the real prize for this trip is to track down a species that's never been filmed before. Previously unknown pink-coloured iguanas have only recently been discovered living on the rim of this spectacular volcano. David is on his way to the helipad to fly out and join the crew.
It's a remarkable thing that in this day and age, when you would think the number of scientists per square metre in the Galapagos is pretty high, and yet suddenly we have discovered, after all this intense examination, a new species. I mean, you might say, oh yes, you can find a little periwinkle or something which nobody has identified before. But this is more than that. This is a big iguana.
Even a seasoned campaigner like David rarely gets to join in with a discovery like this.
Well, that's a new species, and so very few people have seen it. It's a privilege. Interesting to see what it looks like.
To find an iguana to film, the crew are joining the team of scientists who first identified it.
Nice to see you. What an honor.
You're very kind friend, sir. It's an honor to be here. Good news. Yeah, what a discovery. What a nice view. Wow.
Maybe that's why they live here.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. Crater View, it's called. Number 3 Crater View.
David doesn't have to wait long for his first glimpse.
Yeah. Does it have an English name? Do you call it the pink iguana? Or?
Yeah, Galapagos pink land iguanas.
Yeah. And it's definitely not albino.
No, pink is not because there is pink pigment, but because there is a lack of pigment. Pink is actually blood flowing in the deeper layer of the skin of this animal.
What is, to me, more impressive is that it's got a crest at the back of its head. Fatty crest, without those little spines that you see on marine iguanas, which is something really very different. And of course, how different and how long it has been different and why it's different and what advantages of being different and all those questions are still being worked on.
In search of answers, the team of scientists have taken DNA samples from the pink iguanas and compared them with their yellow cousins.
From those data, we realized that they are so different from one another, and we also were able to understand that they have shared a common ancestor that must have lived between 5 and 6 million years ago.
Gabriele and his team hope to unravel further secrets from the pink iguana's evolutionary past. But for now, they're more worried about its future.
We estimated not more than 200 individuals, and they're all adults. We observed no juveniles. So that's a big concern, and that's why we want to learn more and quickly about this species to be able to input conservation efforts to guarantee a future to the species.
Now the pressure's on the wildlife film crew. They're desperately hoping they can get their camera closer to the pink iguana than they managed with its yellow cousins. If anything, it's taken an even stronger dislike to the 3D kit.
Yeah, I'm not sure this iguana quite understands how much this mirror costs, but I guess it probably thought it was a rival, giving him the eye. He's done a bit of damage, but I think we'll be okay. But they're a very important part of the 3D setup, this mirror.
The crew have some stunning close-ups, but they still need to film the final piece of the jigsaw, David with the pink iguana in the same shot. But will it let him get close enough? David Attenborough is with the Galapagos 3D Wildlife Unit to film a newly discovered species of iguana. Their biggest test is here. To shoot David delivering his lines with his edgy co-star in shot alongside him.
Okay.
Okay, David, and action.
Nobody knows why you think.
Nobody knows where he's gone either.
Can give it a try, but yeah.
Here we go, and action.
Maybe this was once spread widely over the island, and this is just the relic population that's left. Again, we don't know. Goodbye. But there's one thing that is quite certain, and that is that there's a lot we have yet to learn about the Enchanted Islands and about the animals that have evolved here.
The iguana stayed in shot just long enough to complete the scene. David can head back to base.
Working against time, sun goes down, so I may have only one chance to do this piece. And if I don't get it, all this will be in vain. So there's no pressure.
The wildlife team are back on the boat that transports them between remote locations. Before they head off again, they need to comply with the strict conservation controls in place in the Galapagos. To prevent the spread of disease or harmful species from one island to the next, they must now clean and disinfect all their equipment and change into clothes that have spent 48 hours in the cooler to kill any bugs. They need the helicopter to airlift them into the 5-mile-wide crater of the Alcedo volcano. It's home to the largest population of giant tortoises in the Galapagos. David is also flying in to film a scene beside a volcanic hot pool that's a popular hangout for the locals.
They live life at a different pace. So there's one up there just heaving herself out. Yeah, she's just, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, it's really rather good grass, that. After sitting in a Turkish bath of hot mud for a couple of days, it does a chap good to have a mouthful of grass.
David came to this same pool in 1976 to film a scene for his iconic series, Life on Earth. Tortoises can live to the age of 200, so some of them might even remember him.
Yes, I had a word with them, but you know that expression when they smile, but they don't really recognise it. They don't. They got that toothy smile, you know.
On David's previous visit, the journey up was much more of a challenge.
We had to walk up here, and that meant we not only had to carry all our tents and our food, but each of us had to carry 5 gallons of water. And 5 gallons of water in a jerry can is very heavy. And we had those domed tents. And it was the breeding season of these lads. And they suddenly thought that these domed creatures that suddenly appeared among them were absolutely the bee's knees. And so overnight would sort of moan around and sort of crash into the tent and thrash about as you in your sleeping bag, which is quite tricky.
Amorous tortoises are causing problems once again. This time for soundman Tom.
Do you hear it, Tom, loudly?
It's about a quarter of what we're hearing, so it's coming through. But then you make that noise when they're...
They do.
You can say it, Tom, it's fine, you can say it.
Yes, we're all chaps, we understand about these things.
Do you think that's a distinctive sound that people will know?
Almost everybody knows that's a mating tortoise, don't they?
Because of their isolation, with a population of around 5,000, they're thriving. But not all of the 15 separate Galapagos varieties have been so fortunate. That's the only one of his kind left, an icon of the Galapagos. Lonesome George.
George is important from a symbolic point of view. Even a name like Lonesome George encapsulates the feeling that we ought to feel about a species that is about to become extinct.
George is a native of Pinta Island, where tortoises evolved distinctive saddle-shaped shells and long necks very different from the Alcedo species.
Feels. He was just waking up and he was thinking, you know, a bit of cactus, something like that sort of thing, and you found these blokes crawling towards him on their hands and knees and talking in reverential voices. So he tucked his head in and focused the attention of the world on what's going on, not only in the Galapagos, but everywhere.
The shoot days are counting down, but the separate units still have plenty to do to capture the remarkable diversity of life in Galapagos. The specialist underwater team are in pursuit of one of the strangest looking creatures to swim in Galapagos waters, the hammerhead shark. Following a local tip-off, they've sailed all night through rough seas to reach Wolf Island.
Last night can only be described as the most uncomfortable night of my life. I feel completely drained because I've had no sleep. But I'm very much looking forward to getting into that water and just seeing what's going on out here.
The team seal the waterproof housing and head beneath the waves. The Galapagos Islands lie at the crossroads of several major ocean currents, turning the waters here into a rich feeding ground. But after a half-hour wait, the team have filmed plenty of turtles, but no sharks. Suddenly, a hammerhead glides into view, followed by a whole posse. They're swimming much faster than usual, for good reason. In deadly pursuit is a vicious predator of the deep, a killer whale. The team have some fantastic close-up shots of the sharks, but to film such a large group is a massive achievement.
I still can't quite believe we saw what we did see.
Yeah, we've been dreaming of that.
Yeah.
5 years now we've been trying to get that together. We must have done I don't know how many hours, how many early mornings trying to get that. And it just built up and built up and built up, and there was sharks everywhere.
It was an incredible dive, most amazing dive.
I think it's the best dive I've ever done, actually.
Yeah.
While the underwater team head for their next location, the main unit are also preparing to take to the seas. David wants to demonstrate a key geological feature of the Galapagos. He will sail into the heart of this crescent-shaped island to reveal that it is, in fact, the rim of a sunken volcano. They also plan to capture the action from the sky. Boat and helicopter need to be perfectly coordinated. Aerial filming expert Ron Chappell has been out since dawn trialling some shots. Ron heads back to the helicopter, and the main unit load up for the trip out to the yacht. But outside the harbour, conditions take an unexpected turn for the worse, and the swell picks up. One slip, and David will be putting his life jacket to the test. Fortunately, he can draw on his seafaring experiences in national service.
I was in the Navy. We did go to sea once. I was supposed to be a navigating officer at one stage. I scarcely believe it. I once went out of sight of land. I never was so terrified in my life.
Before they reach the island, the aerial unit need a shot of David sailing along the coast, the edge of a solidified lava flow. The crew leave David on deck and hide themselves in the kit below. The helicopter returns to base to refuel. The yacht heads inside the ancient crater, ready for the main shot. But there's some disastrous news from the aerial unit. The helicopter has a suspected mechanical fault. If the ground crew can't solve it soon, the team will miss out on today's spectacular aerial sequence. A long repair job could have more serious consequences. The 7-man wildlife unit are camped out on a remote volcano. Without the helicopter, they're stranded. The Galapagos filming team have spent the day getting into position for a spectacular aerial shot. But they've just had some disastrous news from the helipad.
We just heard that the helicopter has a mechanical fault in the tail rotor, so it can't take off.
Getting a replacement part in the middle of the Pacific won't be easy. In fact, it'll have to come from America and could take several days to arrive. But the helicopter isn't just here for the aerial filming. It's the wildlife unit's lifeline. Today, they were due to be airlifted out from a remote location. Now they're cut off, with 40 miles of rugged terrain and open seas between them and the team's base.
My concern, well, everybody's concern, is that the team up in the volcano in Alcedo, on the other island, and they're running out of water and they're running out of food.
There's only so long a person can survive in the wilds on these islands. The porous lava doesn't trap much rain, so drinking water is hard to find.
If the part doesn't arrive from America within the next day or two, I'm told that's where it has to come from, we're going to have a sort of search and rescue mission mounted.
Is there a second helicopter? Okay.
Obviously, if we can't get a helicopter up here, then we're in right trouble, really. We're literally stuck here with no real easy access off.
Two days later, and the wildlife team are still stranded and eking out their supplies. Despite their concerns, the other units must press on with their filming. It's David Attenborough's final day on location. The main crew are getting ready to film an icon of the islands and a personal favourite of David's, the marine iguana.
There's no mistaking these creatures. I mean, they are unlike any other iguana in the world. And they also do very odd things. I mean, they squirt sea salt from their nostrils, which is also highly entertaining. Just as you're taking them seriously, they go... The really astonishing time to see them, though, of course, is not here where they're basking and soaking up heat, but it's when they're fully charged up, when they swim out to sea in an astonishingly graceful way, and then dive and hold onto the sea floor with very long claws, and then scrape off with their jaws, their teeth, scrape off the seaweed. It's an absolutely amazing, unpredictable sight. You couldn't really make it up.
It's down to the specialist underwater unit to keep the shoot rolling. They need to capture the unique way marine iguanas hunt for food beneath the waves, and they found a stretch of water that's teeming with potential.
I have filmed these marine iguanas before, but I've never seen them here in such numbers. I've never seen this. They're all feeding out on the reef on algae and seaweed, but I never expected to see this. There's just literally hundreds of them in the water. They're bobbing about everywhere. Look at them.
To get the footage they need won't be easy. The iguana...
And algae on the rocks. They're just incredible reptiles. I got some stunning footage, and I'm really, really pleased with it.
It's been 3 hours since the main unit's 3D camera went down with a broken cable. Now it's returning from a makeshift workshop in the cruise hotel.
So what we've been able to do is take our cable apart, solder it to a hypodermic needle. Our medic very kindly lent us one, and actually jam that inside. That gives us sync between the two cameras, so that enables the 3D to actually work. And what we've done is we've fashioned this beautiful looking cable protector, which will hopefully get us out of any sticky situation whilst we're using this makeshift needle-based cable.
David can record the final scene of his trip.
Go and action. But a long time ago, just a few were lucky enough to be carried by a favourable current and pitched up here.
Okay, cut. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, give it a go.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, cheers!
Hasta mañana.
Hasta mañana.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista, amigo. Ciao.
Finally, there's an update on the grounded helicopter.
The news has just come in that the piece that was broken on the helicopter has now been replaced. We got a piece from America, from San Diego, that was flown in over the last 2 days. It's now been fixed in the back of the helicopter. The helicopter is now functioning. So, to be honest with you, I'm thrilled.
The helicopter's first mission is to pick up the wildlife crew from the Alcedo volcano. By dawn the next day, they're coming ashore at the team's base.
Basically, we had to ration ourselves to 1 litre of water a day for all uses, which was effectively just for drinking. So it did feel like we were slightly on the knife edge, you know, and if the helicopter part didn't come, it then starts to become a question of survival. We were already starting to talk about walking off, which would mean hiking up the crater rim and then walking off the side of the volcano to try and find the boat. So yeah, those kind of discussions were happening.
The wildlife crew's return has given David the chance to view their footage in the final hours before he heads home. It's a nerve-shredding moment for David and the team. Time to find out if the 3D camera has got close enough and moved quickly enough to capture the animal behaviour he wanted.
Hello? In the egg?
On show today, sea lions at play, blue-footed boobies, and the mating dance of the albatross.
Yes, this is it. Look at that. And they clearly love it, don't they? I mean, they really love it. Oh, do that again, darling. Oh, yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, gorgeous. I know these animals a bit, so I know what the reality is, and 3D does it justice in a way that 2D can't. Well, that's what we came for, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Great.
David and his team have overcome immense challenges to achieve his dream: to film the first 3D television series in Galapagos. From the air, beneath the waves, and across a string of remote islands, to bring viewers closer than ever to the reality of this extraordinary wonderland. It's time for David to board a charter plane for the first leg of his journey home. So,
And they're warm memories. It's full of dramas. It's full of very, very charismatic animals. How sad it's be to leave, because there's tomorrow, and what's on tomorrow? I don't know.
Coming up next, half woman, half alien in our movie Species. Year of the Storm on Nat Geo Wild looks at the events of 2010. Or if easy on the eye espionage is more your thing, catch all the Bonds in one place, on demand, right now.